Hey, you guys. Hello, my friends. How are you? How are you? Hey, I've been thinking about it. Do you guys remember, maybe you still have them or look at them, those books that have Where's Waldo or like spy pages? I know that I always loved when I was, especially elementary school, I would always go get that book and just look at it and look at it and look at it. And even when I knew where Waldo was, there was always like a list on the edge of extra things you could find. I loved searching for those things and finding those things. If you could be a spy anywhere, that's been our big question of the week, our conversation starter. If you could be a spy anywhere or just a fly on the wall, where would you want to be? What would you want to do? Where would you want to go? Um, I think sometimes like I'd love to just like be at school and just see how you guys are doing and what's going on. Um, Sometimes I think about when big decisions are made. Like I'd love to just be a fly on the wall and just hear how these decisions came to fruition and how these decisions were made. Um, what do you have? Maybe something a little bit more interesting where you would just love to be a fly on the wall. You'd love to spy and just know what's going on. Well, guys, that's what we are kind of talking about this week. As we journey through the story, we have the Israelites, and they are almost to the promised land. They have come to Canaan, and God instructs Moses to send 12, one from each tribe, 12 men to go check out this land that he has promised them and he has told them about, and that they have been journeying towards. And they go and they check it out, and they get to spy, and it says they spent 40 days just checking it all out, looking at it. And it was so good. And they brought back some grapes, and they said, these grapes are incredible. We've never seen grapes like this before. And they came back to saying, like, it flows with milk and honey. It is such a good place. But we've got a problem. There are giants in this land. And compared to those giants, we look like grasshoppers. And Moses, we can't do it. That land is not going to be ours. Despite what God might have said, that land is not going to be ours. And we see this story in Numbers 13. And then while they're all going on about how it was such a great place, but like we can't go, Caleb, one of the tribes, leader of the tribe, silences them, and he just says, we're in Numbers 13, verse 30. It said, Caleb silenced the people before Moses and said, we should go up and take possession of the land, for we can certainly do it. Now here Caleb, and Joshua was the same way. It was out of the 12, there were only 2 who thought that they could do it. The other 10 were like, absolutely not, we cannot do it. But here's the thing is that Caleb knew they could do it not because of who they were. They probably did look like grasshoppers compared to these giants who inhabited the promised land that they were going to. But Caleb knew that God had promised that. And that it wasn't up to them, it was up to what God had promised them. God gets really frustrated with these people. He says, I've done so many things for you. You have watched me lead you. I've given you a cloud to cover you and lead you during the day, and a pillar of fire at night, and I've rescued you, and I've delivered you, and you've seen all these incredible things, and yet you still doubt me. What in the world? When will this end? And so he gets frustrated, and he says, the only 2 people who are going to see the promised land out of this generation are going to be Caleb and Joshua and their families. Everyone else, you're not going to see it. Your descendants will see it, but you will not see it. And so then they said, oh God, we're so sorry, we're so sorry, we're so sorry. Yes, we believe, we believe. And they were like, we can do it. And so they just take off. And they go and they try and they get attacked. And it was bad because they went on their own. And so I hear this story and I think, holy cow, why would they not trust that God was going to go with them? And that God had promised them this and put this before them, and that he wasn't going to continue to care for them. But then I started thinking about, oh my gosh, how many times is there a Canaan before me? And I question. I said, there's no way, God, I can do this. I'm not equipped. Those people are better than me. Name the excuse. Name the Canaan. What is it that God has put before you, that he's led you to, that he's put on your heart? And then we sit there and explain all these reasons why we couldn't do it. Or maybe we finally get the confidence to do it, but we try to do it in our own way, and we don't trust God, and we don't allow Him to lead us through it. As I look at this story and I look about how God was forming and shaping His people, I think about how He's still forming and shaping us. And we are called to step out and to trust Him and to not be fearful of the things in front of us that look so overwhelming. When I'm in these places of just feeling so overwhelmed or just not sure what to do, and the fear of what's in front of me feels overwhelming, I go back to that verse that I shared with you guys last week in Psalm 61. It says, "Hear my cry, O Lord, listen to my prayer. From the ends of the earth I shall call to you. I call as my heart grows faint." And some translation says, "I call when my heart is so overwhelmed. And I run to you, lead me to you, the rock that is higher than I, for you have been my refuge, a strong tower against the foe." And so when we are faced with these things that we know God is calling us and He is walking toward, He is leading us towards those things. He has put a desire on our heart. Sometimes it looks overwhelming. But God is not asking us to go at it alone. He's not asking us to tremble in fear and to just throw it away like maybe that's not what we're supposed to be doing right now. But He asks us to go and allow Him to lead us, and to guide us, to fight for us, to protect us. What are those things that He has put in front of you? What are those Canaans where you know God is calling you? You know that this is where you're supposed to be going, but it's scary. Maybe it's fixing something. Maybe it's fixing a relationship or having a conversation. Maybe it's stepping out when there's so many insecurities of I can't do this, I can't do this. And God's saying, no, I've called you and equipped you to this. I need you to trust me that you can do this. Maybe it's just an idea that feels so big and so wild. I think about things that God has put on my heart in the past, and I just get to a place where I can't even think about this, God. It's so overwhelming to think about how you would put such a big desire in my heart, and yet it just feels so far away. It feels too expensive. It feels too big. It feels just there's no way that it could ever come to fruition. God says, trust me. Lean into me and let me lead you through that. Don't go at it alone. So as we're journeying through the story, I want you to be confident. I want you to lean in and to allow God to lead you and to trust His promises for you. They are good. He is working things for your good. He is your refuge and your strength. Do not be afraid, friends. All right. I hope you all have a great week, and I hope to see you soon. Bye, friends.